Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. There we go. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. All right. All righty. Hopefully that is doing better. Let me get my have a sip of the old Kentucky. Here we go. Ah. What is going on, people? What is happening? Good Sunday morning to you. Good Sunday mornings. I hope your favorite college football team won. Let's go ahead and share the information. See here, we live. Go ahead and share this on out. That we are live. What is going on, people? What is happening? So, yeah, I got a little information on the PS-5, according to CRAIGTECH. And, we'll talk about some PS-5 news. We're going to talk about Sony and the week that was and how Sony won the week. Major news coming from their TV studios, their movie studios, and their game studios. So, yeah. But certainly hope everybody had a good weekend. I had a little 3-day jaunt myself. So I'm just going to wait for a few more people to file in. And I know it's early. It's about 11 o'clock on the East Coast. But what's everybody playing? What's going on, Iron Fist? Long time no hear. Andrew Wilkins, what's going on? The Nail Bet, how you doing? Well, I mean, again, you can't worry about what a bunch of moist people say. And who cares if it doesn't have multiplayer? Again, we'll get into that a little bit. I'm gonna have my final thoughts on it. Oh, Game Over HD, how you doing? How are you doing? So what is everybody playing? I am going to be. I may get Ghost Recon Wildlands on the Xbox X. I don't know yet. It's a nice morning. I may jaunt jaunt up to GameStop on my new bicycle I bought yesterday. I want to ride my bicycle. But yeah, what is everybody playing? So Lincoln Clay, shout out to Lincoln Clay. He's playing washing dishes. Oh man. So yeah, I'll be doing that later this evening. That's my goal later this evening. I bought a pizza, a frozen pizza. I'm gonna watch a little bit of the Cleveland Browns game. Batman Arkham Knight. Okay, you all, don't kill me. What order do I need to play these Batman games in? Because there's like 10 Batman games, it seems like. So is there a trilogy that kind of tells a ongoing story or not? So, because I'll go ahead and do it. He said, like, oh, all right, is there a certain order I should play them in? Oh, Lincoln, tell your son I said hello. I would go with the let's look it up here. It's a good question. Let me turn on my tech hat. So that's the H9F. Let's look at a review on it. Oh, well, it's $900. The 65-inch here. Let's go ahead and put it. Let me share my screen here. Let's go. I get to be the tech guy this morning. So, yeah, so I'll share my screen. Now this is the H9. That's the Hisense H9. Let's see here. Price, it gets a thumbs up. Excellent peak brightness. That's always good in deep blacks. So low input lag. So if you're going to play games on it, this is really, really a good TV to play games on because of that low input lag right there. It's great for watching TV shows during the day. Has great reflection handling and excellent SDR. Now, SDR is fake HDR, peak brightness. So you shouldn't have any glare. That's good. The design. Now, design to me is a throwaway number because what you like is what you like. Okay. I like the way it looks. It's pretty straightforward. Now, everything is on the left-hand side. So it's opposite of a Samsung TV. Again, Samsung, everything's on the right side. So it looks like if that's away facing me on the right side, everything's on the left side. So temperature, looks like you got good temperatures. Picture quality is an 8. So that's good. Local dimming 7. Now you're getting into some more things if you watch movies. I don't care for local dimming at all. I turn mine off, but that's me. You got good contrast, great. Yeah, you got HDR. You got great peak brightness there. This is a good TV. Of course, you have to be sitting right in front of it. It's not curved, so you're gonna get a shitty viewing angle. So, trying to find your. You got good blacks. Okay, make sure you calibrate it. Okay. I don't know if you're getting your TV from Best Buy or something like that, but you can actually have them come out to your house, especially if you're getting a brand new TV, if you're going to have it delivered, and have them calibrate it for you. A lot of people buy the TV and they don't calibrate it. You can calibrate your TV, okay? Or you can have them do it. You can actually go to the websites and they will calibrate it for you. They have exactly where you should put things. And so, yeah, you got good gamma. It's better pre-calibration, but post-calibration, everything else is better. Everything else is better. So, yeah, this is a good TV. So, yeah, I can't deny that. The TCL R65. Let's go ahead and pull that up. R6. Is that 625? Shit, I can't remember what you put in there. Hold on, let me look one more time. What's up, Jemiah Dixon? How you doing? R625. R625. Okay. Yeah, I got that in there. The R625. TCL R625. Okay, let's look at this bad boy. Well, I'm gonna keep it 100%. I would go with the Hisense. Although the price on that R625, let me make sure I'm looking at it. It's $100 cheaper. It's $100 cheaper. It's got a wide color gambit. I don't know enough about quantum dot technology. It's got Dolby Vision and HDR. It's got Dolby Atmos. Well, I tell you what, the TCL's got a little more. Like if you watch movies, this is better. This will be a better movie watching TV, and it comes with Roku. Comes with Roku. So now this depends. Are you a TV man or are you a video game man? That's if you are a TV guy, go with the TCL. If you are a gamer, go with the Hisense. That's what I would do. But that's my opinion. It's your money. I definitely won't tell you what to do with your money. But I appreciate your question. So my suggestion is to go with the Hisense. But ultimately, it's your cash, and you go with what you want. But if you're a video gamer, it looks like the Hisense TV is where you go. If you prefer movies first, then video games, then go with the TCL. So, because TCL's got Atmos, it's got Dolby Vision, it's got HDR. So that's my opinion. All right, but I appreciate your question. So I appreciate your question. So, look like a little early morning bourbon to get you going. So, what's up, E1 Matador 809? Hey, everybody that's here. All right, Nicholas Taylor. Yeah. Ice Queen Gaming, how are you doing? So, TCL has lower input lag. Well, the Hisense had low input lag as well. As a matter of fact, that was one of the points that TV ratings actually had. But again, the input lag on TV isn't bad. If you're really that big on input lags, get a monitor. You can get a 32-inch monitor that'll go on sale on Black Friday. It's hard to believe Black Friday is, less than 60 days away. So, Hisense doesn't have much features and quality. That one did. That one did. And it's a straight, I mean, if you're a gamer and you want to play your games, I recommend Hisense TVs. And to somewhat Sony, but Sony's TVs actually are more for movies. Sony, Samsung, LG, right? They're more for movies. Hisense is actually a good gaming TV, especially that one. That one actually, Lincoln Clay's got a Hisense TV. He can actually testify. So, the TCL for the price. Let me make that clear. The TCL TVs for the price are the better buy based on price. But again, like I said, if you're a movie guy first, like I watched Dark Phoenix yesterday, it was terrible. It's one of the worst movies I've seen in my life. The first act was actually not bad, but that second and the third act was terrible. The third act was terrible. So, yeah, I mean, again, LG, Sony, Samsung, Hisense, they all make great TVs. All make great TVs. So, what's up, Ghoul86? Lincoln Clay, yeah, I need some help getting my Twitch channel set up. So, I had a comparable picture to the Samsung. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the TV market, I can officially say I'm not in anymore as far as looking for a brand new one. I do want a new monitor. I want a 1440p monitor, 2560, whatever it is, by 1440p. So I'm looking for that. 75 hertz refresh rate is. I got my eye on one at Best Buy, and it's going from at that point. Now they do have a curved Samsung one that's 27 inches, but it's 1080p. So I don't know. I'm kind of stuck right there. Dark Phoenix was the best 4K movie you'd seen. All right, well that's fine. That's fine. I won't. Different strokes for different folks. Dark Phoenix was horrible though to me. So it was horrible. So. All right, so yeah, let's move to this Rdna. So as you all know, the next PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5, PS-5, whatever they're going to call it, Sony's going to call this, it's going to be powered by AMD. It's going to have ray tracing. It's going to be based on their Rdna. So very good chance that they are going to be using next gen Rdna. And, it's going to have GDDR6 on it. Of course, you all know it has the SSD on it. And it's going to have a hardware ray tracing. and it's going to have a hybrid type of ray tracing, because ray tracing, as we know, based on the videos on graphics cards, they're having horrible frame rate drops when you turn on ray tracing. And excuse me. And so what AMD is doing is they're trying to find a hybrid version where you can keep your frame rate steady and then have ray tracing on. So we'll have to wait and see. But you know how speculation goes, and you know how I love to speculate on this channel. So let's just turn it into, you know, more speculation. So but at the end of the day, there's just not a lot of information going on about the new Xbox, so people are just reaching for the stars. It's Ad Astra, which literally translates to the stars, and that's exactly what they're doing. That's why I call the next Xbox, you might as well just call it Ad Astra, you know, because that's exactly what we're going to be getting. So you want dog shit like Sea of Thieves, get a Samsung. Oh yeah, I got you. So well, Don, I'm glad you're doing better. Yeah, they will do it. They will do it. They'll slow you down. Yeah, they'll have to get you. You know, they'll if it's making you too drowsy, let them know. Just let them know, hey, these are making me too drowsy, and can you get something else? That's it. You know, this, can you change it? Keep the same medication, but maybe bring it down a little bit. So, so it's pronounced E-L Matador, where your E-L, that's an E1. Just so you know. Just so you know. So, yeah, TCL has a game mode built in it. So does Samsung. Actually, when you turn on game mode, it helps you with the interpolation, but it turns down what the game looks like. Because I played in game mode before. Trash. So, yeah, Xbox, yeah. So, what is a Halo? So I don't know where he is. It's keeper, but no. So according to WCC Tech, you know, we all know that the next PlayStation is going to be based on, you know, the Zen 2 processing and stuff like that. But as far as the GPU is concerned, that's where it's going to really stand out. You know, so you're looking at, I think, in order for them to get close to 14 T-flops of power, as far as performance to power, I think Rdna translates roughly to 9.4, give or take 9.4, 9.6. We may get it somewhere around there, which is roughly 2 times more powerful, well, 2 times and 1/3 of the PlayStation Pro, you know, that does a little bit more than the Scorpio. So, so you use enhanced mode. Yeah, Andrew's right. Game modes on all TVs turn down the visuals, but it does help you with your input lag. Yeah, he's right about that. But it dims my picture, you know, and I have a Samsung TV, so it dims my picture. So, and I play my games either on standard, which on Samsung directs it, that gives you the more natural looking HDR picture, or or I play it in custom. So, but I prefer standard. So, you had a beer last night. All right. Well, happy birthday again. I'm glad you had a cold one. Hopefully you gave us a thought over here on this side of the pond. But I'm glad you went out. Hope you had a good time. So yeah, enhanced mode. Now, yeah, I have no idea. See, I think Samsung's enhanced mode is called dynamic, and they use a artificial light. It's just too bright. So I either go to custom or standard. Custom is what I like. I like my custom features. When I watch television, when I watch movies, I will turn it on to standard because my movies have a different setting. So if you don't know, at least with Samsung TVs, you can save your settings. So I spent hours like tuning for these 4K movies. I got it exactly where I wanted it at, so I saved it right there. So, and a shout out, I think there was a guy that called himself Mr. 4K Upscaler. I don't know if he still has a channel, but he was really good about how to tune your TVs and stuff like that. Very, he didn't have to do that. So, so I used him, especially when I was playing like Horizon Zero Dawn and Mass Effect Andromeda, to tune the TV. And I think he had an 8000 series Samsung. I got a 7000 series. So I just used the settings that he set forward, and it worked. It worked for me. I didn't care for Mass Effect Andromeda story at all. But after I got that game set, wow. I mean, wow, it was really rolling as far as what it looked like. So Sony is creating a new AI for gaming. Well, they're creating their version of Cortana and Alexa and stuff like that. So Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, begins tonight at sundown. To everyone celebrating, I wish you Shana Tova.
Okay. So Alexa says hi. So, but yeah, that's what it sounds like. They put a patent in, and we'll have to wait and see if if they incorporate it somehow. Here's what I would like an AI to do, and this is just me. If Sony has a game and it's got a puzzle, I think that AI should solve the puzzle for me. I mean, that's what I want it to do. I would say, AI, solve this puzzle, and it would just do it. I think that would be great. It would be kind of like Glyph from Mass Effect, or that horrible thing that you had that AI in Mass Effect Andromeda. I forgot what it was called, but to be able to call upon something like that in the middle of a game, I think would be great. So I think it would be great. I think it would be fantastic. So. You got a big folder on the Google Circle. So okay. Well, like I said, that's fine. No, I'm not going to play games that have puzzles on them. So that's why when everybody played Uncharted 4, I bought Uncharted 4, but I waited 2 weeks. And I did the same thing with Lost Legacy. Shout out to Jimmy B Gaming on Lost Legacy, because I watched his playthrough. That's how I solved those puzzles. So shout out to Jimmy B Gaming, because I was in the way in heck. So the Sony X950, that the TV series. Now you're talking. Yeah, that Sony's TVs are really good. It's too expensive for me. There was one, had I not bought the TV I bought, I would have bought the Sony, I think it was a 900E. I think it was a 900E. They had it out of box at Best Buy for $699. Now, had I bought that, had I not bought my 7000 out of box at Best Buy, had I not bought that, I'd be cheating on games. Yeah, I do. I mean, games with puzzles on them are stupid. I mean, if I want to do that, I'll play friggin' Tetris, or Candy Crush. But I've said that. I've said that 100,000 times. So I didn't get too far in control because of the puzzles. Well, no, I actually started playing Gears, and now because Gears crashed, I'm going back to Control probably, like this afternoon after Cleveland plays Baltimore. I'm gonna watch that game, and then I forgot who I don't know who the night game is. So, but I have to watch that too. So. Well, I mean, if Control's got puzzles in it, I'm just going to pull up what I have to do. I'll pause the game, be like, all right, well, here's what I have to do to solve this puzzle, and that's what I'll do. It's no big deal. So, but yeah, I agree. Here, let's make a banner on that here. We'll make that there. We'll put it right there. Yeah, I don't think puzzles should be in video games unless you have a game based on puzzles. Saints versus Cowboys tonight. I may watch a little bit of that. Yeah, I may watch a little bit of that. So, yeah, I've already done my laundry. I'm good there. I can make me a mean grilled cheese sandwich. So, yeah, I may check that out. So, Sony TVs didn't cost so much. They would be, yeah. I mean, again, they are ridiculously expensive. They're great quality. What up, Snow Bunny? How you doing? Let me know if you want to jump on here to the Bootleg Podcast, the Bootleg Hangout. We could talk about that Nintendo Switch getting Ori in the Blind Forest. So just let me know. So yeah. Andrew, no, because Control didn't flop. I mean, we don't know. Can we wait? They'll have the number out for Control in a week or two. They'll have the number out in a week or two. But Control sold very well, my understanding from my friend that works for GameStop. So he said they had a good, they sold well. According to him, I have to wait and see. So Cowboys are looking good. Yeah, they are. They're not looking bad. So not looking bad. So what's up, Mega Davo? I don't know what that symbol means, but what's happening? So what is going on? So yeah, remember that new PS-5 is going to have that new Rdna technology in it. Got that Navi GPU. There's going to be GDDR6 or whatever the hell that is, and it's going to have that SSD. They've almost eliminated the Lord. Okay, how you doing? All right. It's going to have an SSD that virtually is eliminating load times, and it's going to have a hardware-based ray tracing. It's going to be hybrid, so that it's, you know, I don't know why why ray tracing is a big deal. There's ray tracing in almost all these games now. There's ray tracing in that Last of Us video if you watch it. So, you know, so it's going to have the same architect. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that they won't. I'm not here to say that they won't. So. So, oh yeah, I know Metro flopped. Yeah, you don't have to tell me the Metro didn't flop. Okay, I know Metro flopped. Too much of that game that was made too big a deal, and those books. I've read the first 2 books in that series, and that's good. It's like I read the first book in the Witcher series. That's good. That is real good. Like the video game, at least Witcher 3. That's more about. That's Geralt being at the end of his career. This so you guys know that one the DLC not Hearts and Stones, but that other DLC, Blood and Wine, that's pretty much him at the end of his career. So have I seen that? I have not seen it. I mean, shout out to my source, Lou Waffle. He's just letting me kind of know a little bit more about the GPU. So, I mean, again, I'm not that PlayStation 4 really hurt them deep in their soul. Okay, tell me how. So, yeah, Jemiah Dixon is right. Metro was never a big seller. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. It has a loyal group of fans, though. But I agree, it's a pretty straightforward, basic shooter. I wanted to kill that rat in 1440p, and that's what I did. That's all I wanted to do. So, and I did it. I was excited to do it. So what do you mean, Spartan God? The PlayStation 4 has hurt them in their soul. Let's unpack that a little bit. So, remember when White Zaddy said Gears 5 on the Xbox One X was on Naughty Dog level, and now Naughty Dog showed The Last of Us 2 and said the big. Oh, well, I don't know if the base PS4 is their target because I don't know if they confirmed that. If that's something I would have thought they would have confirmed. I have not seen a quote from Naughty Dog saying that. But, yeah, I do remember when Zaddy said that Gears 5 was on Naughty Dog's level. And, again, you all have to make that determination for yourselves. I've played a little bit of Gears 5. I've not played The Last of Us Part 2. So I won't. Again, we really can't make that type of leap until we get to play it. At least I won't. You know, this Gears 5 looked good from what I played of it. Yeah, I mean, but I've not played a bad looking Gears game ever. Again, I like the Gears series. I like Gears Judgment. But I try to I stay away from those comparisons until I get my hands on The Last of Us. So that came from Naughty Dog. Okay, well, I mean that's fine. Like I said, I've I've not seen them. I've not seen anybody quote, "We're targeting the base PS4." If that's true, why are they showing all their gameplay on the PS4 Pro? That's because according to the last video we saw, that was all captured on the Pro. Now maybe I know with oh shoot fire, God of War, the last God of War that just came out. You know, boy. With that just now coming out, they showed everything on the base PS4. They did not show you anything on the Pro. So yes, Snow Bunny is right. Hit that like button, people, and share the video. Share the video. Yes, hit the like button. Snow Bunny doesn't want to come on. Metro hurt itself by linking itself to Xbox. Well, no, I don't. Again, it's just I agree with Jemiah Dixon. It was never a huge game. Being connected to Xbox has nothing to do with you already having a small audience. So I mean, XCOM 1 and 2 was XCOM 2 is a small game. I mean, I liked XCOM. You have to like those type of games, but I love XCOM. So so if Gears 5 is game of the year, the media, well, it could be. Look, like I said, I've not played through it. I got to a certain part, and like I said, it was just like, I'm like, all right, well, this game's crashing, so I'm done. You know, so I'm done. I'm not playing it anymore. So, well, Metro may end up going. Well, it went to Game Pass instead of Steam. So it went to Game Pass. So maybe they go to Steam next year. I don't, you know. Yeah, White Zaddy does run the Xbox. They're moist. So it's the same with Remedy. Remedy isn't a huge, they don't have a huge IP like Get In Line at Midnight IP, you know, like we would for Grand Theft Auto or Spider-Man or something like that. So, but yeah, matter of fact, Quantum Break is actually on sale for $10. So I may go ahead and buy that and beat it, then jump back into Control, because you do know that that was a strong one right there. But why don't you jump on here, Snow Bunny, and let us know how it's been an eye opener? Do you mean in your personal, or do you mean in your hobby? If it's your personal, I understand. You do not have to come on and talk about the personal. Although you and Vieira Tron, when you all told me about you all's worst dates that you've been on, you all had me on the floor laughing. When you said that guy said he was 6 feet or something like that, he came to the door, he was shorter than you. And then Vieira Tron said she went out with her, was it her brother's best friend? And he smelled like a wet sock. Y'all gotta come back on, man. That was hilarious. Okay, yeah, you gotta explain what the gaming streets are. I need somebody to come on here and explain to me what the gaming streets are, because I have no idea what they are. You know, E1 Matador, I'm still upset because I thought somebody in the community was gonna buy Code Vein for me for my birthday, like a belated birthday gift. And I was wrong. You know, I was wrong. So I'll send you a link. Sure thing. Let's see here. Let me copy that. Go there. Go to the Twitter machine. So hopefully you can come on and explain what the gaming streets are. All right, I just sent it there to you, Miss Snow Bunny. And Lincoln Clay, let me know. I'll send you one too, Lincoln Clay. I did see that you wanted to pop on. So there we go. So they're out there. The control is dog shit. I haven't played it enough. I played it, and I love the fact that they said that gun that you have, it used to be certain things throughout history. But then Gears came out, and I'm a bigger Gears fan than anything. So I started to play Gears. I was really enjoying it, and all of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell, man? Not supposed to do this. So Sawmill Horde, Stream Saw, and people might buy you something. Oh, okay, well, I may do that then today. So let me see here. Hold on here. Let's see if we can schedule a time. Let's type in something in real fast. La 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 la. Okay, I may be able to do that here later on. I'm just wanting to see some other things. Check the Cash App. I will, but I'm hurt. So, I mean, I misunderstood something, but I will do that Sawmill Horde, Andrew. I do owe you guys that. I didn't forget. So I'll try to find them. Oh, there's Snow Bunny. Is this Snow Bunny?
Of course it is.
Well, good morning, Snow Bunny. You're up early.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
So I'm a little under the weather.
Oh no. You got that crud that's going around?
I don't know. My coworker came in last week with God knows what, and then by Thursday, that was it for me.
I know the feeling. So don't. I know the feeling. Like
hello, Spartan. Hi, chat. Thank you for inviting me on, Craig.
Hey, it's an open invitation. You guys cracked me up the other time when I had you and Vieira on there. When you know the whole.
Well, hey, you asked the question, man. Like I said, my mom to this day is still laughing about that date.
What made it funny is that you said you still went. That's why I was really starting. Like, he lied to you up front. You still went.
I mean, it was just like, okay, how was I going to back out of it at the 9th minute?
Well, don't women always have?
I mean, it wasn't like we went to a club and
That's
then
true.
I could have snuck off to the bathroom and left.
You stubbed your toe. No, you twisted your ankle.
So this week has been quite interesting in gaming.
Yes, explain. Well, first thing, explain to me, what are the gaming streets?
It's just the avenue of us all talking about gaming and things. Like everything going on out here, it's like a drama on every corner if you think about it. We had the drama of The Last of Us Part 2 not releasing with multiplayer. And then people started writing petitions about no multiplayer, but they're still going to buy it. I'm sitting here like, isn't that sending the wrong message to developers?
Yeah, well, I said it's the equivalent of you catching your girlfriend cheating on you, and then you get mad at her, then you say, well, she can still get the D though. You know?
Exactly. And like, I was on my podcast and I began to realize something that's actually kind of spooky, because as you know, like, I only play on Switch and everything.
Yeah.
And I was on my podcast on Wednesday on Scram Punks, and Dirt was like, I should just send you an Xbox One. And I was like, there's nothing on it I really want to play, you know, because and then I said they do a lot of multiplayer games. I'm not huge into multiplayer games, and anything that's releasing that I play, a lot of times, a lot of it has been skipping the Xbox and going just to PlayStation 4 or to Switch.
Right.
So somebody in the chat was talking about like, so when somebody who doesn't have a console, like if like let's say you don't have a Switch, if
Okay.
you come up to me and say, hey, what games should, if I'm going to get a Switch, what type of games are on the Switch? The Switch, we can name a whole bunch of games on the Switch that came
Yeah.
out for the system that makes it unique.
Facts.
If
I agree.
somebody goes up to you, or if you don't have a PlayStation, like I don't have a PlayStation 4. If I go up to somebody with a PlayStation 4 and I ask them, hey, what games make the PlayStation 4 unique on its own, or what games should I get the PlayStation 4 for?
Correct.
You can name games on the PlayStation 4 from
Okay.
this gen that you could get that makes it unique. The thing that scared me the most was in the chat, somebody was naming, instead of naming games for the Xbox, they were naming the studios and their future games that's possibly coming out. And that scared the hell out of me because it got to the point of thinking, hold up, wait a minute. They're living on a wing and a prayer that these games are going to be decent. They can't name me games from this gen that makes the Xbox unique to the Xbox
What
or to
studio,
PC gaming.
what studios? Do you remember any of the studios that they were?
Like all the ones that just got acquired that
Oh,
hasn't put out anything yet for the Xbox.
correct.
I mean, yeah, you could go on some of their past things, but look at what happened with Rare. Rare used to be known to make great games, but then they released Sea of Thieves in the state that Sea of Thieves came in. Granted, a couple years later, Sea of Thieves is better now, but look at how it was when it released.
That's trash. It's still
I
trash.
mean, so no, but do you see what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I love the X, like all my friends and stuff who play Xbox and stuff. I love them and everything, but it's almost as if they're living on a wing and a prayer that the studio's next games coming out are going to be great. And you
Yeah.
can say all you like, hey, they got Microsoft's backing and everything. It doesn't matter. That money doesn't really matter. If the game is good, the game is good. You got to look at the storyline and the plot of a game also.
Yeah. Did the pushback or the vitriol that you saw come out of some people about The Last of Us, did it surprise you? Are you happy to see the passion, but kind of disappointed in the way it was going, or what did you think? Because I don't know. Did you play any of The Last of Us at
No,
all?
I mean I had a PlayStation 3, but I didn't play the last. I didn't even know The Last of Us Part 1 had a multiplayer, to be honest with you. I just thought it was a single player game.
Well,
So when it came out, and this was another conversation I had on Roundtable once. We were talking about what next, going into next year, what types of things would we like to see changing in gaming.
yeah.
And the thing is with us this gen, like look at this, like prime example. People are upset and making petitions, signing petitions for no multiplayer in The Last of Us Part 2. But yet they're turning around saying, oh, we're still going to buy it. We're not going to miss out on the best game of the year. That's sending the wrong message to developers, because now the developers are going to sit there and think, oh, we can do whatever the hell we want. They're addicted to the series enough. They'll buy whatever we put out, what garbage we put out there to them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, to me.
Okay, so that's the thing. Before we can get the studios to change, us as gamers has to also change our philosophies also. If you're going to sit there and cry and whine about something, but still turn around and buy it, then that evidently means you're just throwing a hissy fit and it wasn't that upsetting to you.
Hissy fit. Just, my mom still says that, so I'm just kind of laughing at that. So
yes.
I mean, to me, yeah, I didn't spend one moment of The Last of Us thinking about the multiplayer. When I was playing that game, I wasn't like, well, when I get to through this part right here, I'm going to start playing multiplayer, So no, I'm glad that they're doing a multiplayer, but I'm glad they're separating it as well, because the studio's vision for that game is one thing, and you as a fan may have a different vision for it, but it's ultimately their vision. That's it. They created that character or list of characters. You didn't. I mean, it's great that you enjoy them. It's great that you are emotionally attached to them. But yeah, I've never understood why people who have PCs play multi-plat games on console when playing them on PC is much better. It's just, I mean, CS.
Well, even though some people have PCs, no matter what gaming PC, and you know this yourself, Craig, if they can't get that newest graphics card in it, or if the motherboard won't support the newest graphics card, and they'll have to like start all over from the beginning. It might just be easier for them to play on console instead of PC.
Which, yeah, and they should just say I prefer.
I mean, you gotta look at it this way. It's getting so bad with graphics cards now that companies are leasing graphics cards out to people so people can't keep updating their graphics card.
Really? I did not.
Yes.
Know who is leasing?
I have been hearing commercials on the radio and stuff, or on YouTube and stuff, for companies that will lease out and you pay a certain amount a month for graphics cards because they're getting because so many people want the power but don't have the money to buy the power up front.
Well,
I mean, when you start seeing things like that in the world going on, like, would you have ever expected GameStop to start doing, when the Xbox One was releasing, GameStop had to deal with people with the Xbox One so people could get, and this was back in 2013-14, where you could do a layaway plan for an Xbox One.
Well, technically, if you go up there and get a GameStop card and put $10 on it, it's in layaway.
No. This was after it was released, hon.
Oh, that's right. No, you're right. I do remember that. Okay, now I do.
I'm not talking about the pre-orders. I'm talking about after it was released.
Oh, you're right. I forgot all about that. You're right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. People want all of these things, but a lot of it is money factor also. So if they got a way to play it on PC where they have to spend tons of money to upgrade their PC, or if they could play it on console, they might just play it on console while slowly upgrading their PC. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't lease a graphics card.
Well, I mean, they're not. The problem in the PC community that I've run into is that they don't know what standard to sit on. Mine is 1440p. So I need a graphics card that at the bare minimum will allow me to do 1440p 60 frames a second. So for me, I do need to get a 570. That's the AMD 5, which is about $400. So that's not horrible, that for me. But I do understand there's always some numbnut that wants the 2080 Ti or 1080 Ti or something like that. And you're right, they're expensive. Those things are expensive. And if you're making, that's why.
I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
A lot of people are right now on champagne taste on water budgets.
Facts. Yeah.
I mean, I see it every day in my job.
Yeah.
People come into my job thinking that, because I'm a dental assistant, we charge like $105 to pull a tooth. People come into my job thinking that $105 is too expensive, but they're also eyeing that they want implants, and an implant starting at my job is $1,100 an implant.
Damn, insurance won't even pay for that shit.
We don't. My job don't accept insurance. Some dentist offices don't, and B, some insurances don't cover implants.
Oh, they look at it as optional.
Okay. Exactly. So I mean, that's the thing. People come into my job talking about, I can you discount this $105 extraction, but then turn and be like, I want implants.
Hey, I know what that's like, having a champagne taste on a beer budget. So
some of these people are on water budges.
Let's
get it out there. Water budgets.
I am on a beer budget. Speaking of beer budget and champagne, would you like to try a sip of the old Kentucky I've got here? But no, so the gaming streets, according to you, are the avenue that people are on like Twitter and YouTube and like stuff like that.
That's my description of it. Because like if you look at it, think about it. Every corner you go on, there's something going on.
All right, now what is your opinion of the moisture coming out of the PlayStation community over the multiplayer fiasco? Because you did say they're on one hand they're saying they're mad, but then when you ask them point blank, are you going to still get the game? They say yes. So your opinion is they're just throwing a fit for nothing. They're just venting.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, some people are like, well, we're not going to miss the best game of the year. You're being a hypocrite. I mean, you're going to sit here and cry and whine and start petitions. Have you seen the petition? There is a petition about it. And you're doing all this, but then you're turning around saying, oh, well, I'm going to still buy the game.
Well, that's my whole thing. It may not be the best game of the year. What if the best game of the year is Final Fantasy VII? But then you got to think about it this way: with as close as Final Fantasy VII is to The Last of Us 2, which one of them are going to get shafted? Because they're both PlayStation 4 exclusives. Yeah, well, I'm getting both. Like I said, I've already started saving #$5 every pay period into the.
Are you getting like collector's editions or something?
Final Fantasy, no, that's going to be standard. And the Ellie, I'm not getting the Ellie edition. Shout out to J-Dub. He's going to give some of those away at some point. I've got the special. There's 3 editions. There's a standard edition for Last of Us. There's a special edition. There's a collector's, and there's the Ellie. I'm getting the special.
And then isn't there also didn't they release there's going to be a PlayStation also?
Not yet. They haven't confirmed, nor have they denied a PS4 for it. More than likely, they will have one, but nothing yet. Nothing has been confirmed. The only new PlayStation that's coming out that's been confirmed so far is the Death Stranding, which does look good too. It looks good too. I like the white on black, and I love the look of the joystick, the gamepad. So I wish they sold that gamepad separately.
They may. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah. Like I said, they're waiting on a PS5 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Well, I mean, again, it'll be playable on PS5. I don't know what the huge difference will be. It looks fantastic already. I don't know what else Square can do to that game to make it better. Especially, they're going to have a turn-based mode on it, so they're going to allow you to play a classic way, which that's what I want to play because I missed out on that. I did not play Final Fantasy VII.
Oh,
so I'm going to play the classic way, at least for a few hours just to see what I missed. Then I'll go back and play it on the regular version.
It was a good game for when it came out.
Yeah,
I don't really think it aged that well, so I was kind of glad when they decided to do a remake. But it's more I don't know if it was the backlash of because at first they weren't talking about turn-based at all in it. They were just saying it's going to be straight action RPG, but then they went back to turn-based. I don't know if that was because of the backlash of the classic fans saying they wanted turn-based or if they just decided to add it in.
Right. Well, again, like I said, I'm not for sure. And you got to remember Cyberpunk comes out in that same area. Now, I'm not buying Cyberpunk because it's called Cyberpunk. Who wants to play something that calls itself Cyberpunk? But with that said, that will sell well also. But that's all in the same area. It's like right around.
But the difference is Cyberpunk's not a console exclusive. It's a multi-plat.
Yeah.
So that one, it shouldn't suffer too much. But with the PlayStation 4, with both, and they're less than 2 weeks apart, I'm trying to figure out which one's going to get shafted.
Yeah.
Unless you get, because I mean, like it's going to hurt. Sales are probably going to hurt one or the other, especially with both of them coming out with super expensive collector's editions. And people are going to want those.
Yeah, the collector's edition at least in my city, there's still time to go buy a collector's edition of each one. The Ellie edition, though, for The Last of Us Part 2 is gone. That is
They're
all.
gonna bring back more of them.
Yeah,
Come
I
on
think by
now.
the holiday you'll be able to get some more. That's what I've been told. We'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I think if you want to send Naughty Dog a message on the fact that there's no multiplayer, just don't buy the game. Don't buy
That's
it.
the best message to send because money talks, everything else walks. If
Yeah,
they see that they have no money from this because of that factor, then they'll change things, but don't sit there and complain about it and at Naughty Dog and send them all these petitions, but then turn around and still buy the game.
yeah, yeah, and it's not like it's not coming. And then the people are like, well, it's on the first game, and they should have announced it. And I'm like, well, they have always said during production of games, things change. You know, you have to deploy assets in other places. And when I was watching some of the writing notes, they had one of the co-writers, and she said that, you know, there's 300 to 350 people working on the game, and it will be ready we'll have it ready when it comes out. She said it will be completely ready. So we'll have to wait and see. The game is huge, 2 discs. I'm going to assume it's going to be at least 25 to 30 hours. So we'll have to wait.
For 2 discs, you got, because you can look at a Switch cartridge and they'll put a game on a Switch cartridge that might be like 5 gigs and you might be putting 80 hours into it.
Damn.
I mean, you see my point?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like Xenoblade Chronicles, people have been sinking 80 to 120 hours in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in it.
Right.
So I'm expecting 2 Blu-rays to have a whole lot more than that.
Yeah. Well, me too. I mean, it's going to be long.
Unless most of that is not for the gameplay itself, but for the graphical fidelity of it.
Do you think it's going to be 4K?
Don't know. I mean, but those are the things you got to think about. If, like, prime example, with the Switch, when they put Warframe on the Switch, they compressed it down to, and then they just recently did an update that compressed Warframe down to 15 gigs.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and I don't even know how much it is on the PS4. I think it's like 50 or 60 gigs. So you got to think about, even though it might be 2 discs long, how much of those game disc capacity is going to the graphical fidelity of the game?
Yeah. What did you think about what the game looked like? What you saw? Did it look intriguing? Did it look like something you would buy? Are you going to buy it? And does it look intriguing?
No, because the first one didn't. The first one didn't entice me to buy it, not even used. The second one, I'm just like, okay, it looks like a great game. It looks like people are going to have fun, but it's not interesting to me.
You don't have a PlayStation because it's free on PlayStation like next month.
No, I don't have a PlayStation, but I'm very odd. My thing is if, like, you know, with the whole backwards compatibility and like with the Switch, we have like NES games on it and Super NES games on it, and with backwards compatibility with like the Xbox and things like that. I very rarely play games from an old gen that I had played before.
Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing 360 games. Yeah.
I mean, so like with backwards compatibility, if I played them years ago, I usually don't play them. If I didn't play them years ago, 9 times out of 10 it was because I didn't want to play them.
Right.
Nothing's going to change that.
I see.
I mean that's just how I am. I don't care how much hype a game has. I don't care how great it looks. If the story is not interesting to me, I really don't care about it.
But what about the multiplayer and putting on a headset and sitting behind a bush and calling in the B2 for an airstrike? That doesn't entice you?
No.
Okay.
I have board games that I can play that has more interest to that. Where I have war strategy like board games.
Mm-hmm.
Where I have, when I want to play something like that, I usually go out with my friends and we play something like that.
Oh, so you like do strategy boarding games? So
Mm-hmm.
okay, then I know that.
I have
Cool.
a huge collection. I have a huge collection of like European style board games and stuff, and my friends have even more collections. So, I mean, like if I'm going to play something like that, I usually play in a board game format.
I did not know that. Yeah, I told yeah. Well,
Mhm.
shout out to you for the strategy game. Do you like real time strategy games like Surviving Mars? You would probably like games like Surviving Mars and XCOM because those are turn based strategy games.
No, because I was in like if it's a strategic RPG, I'm not fond of those types. SOCOM I played years ago, but it's like whatever for me. My whole in the last 20 years, and I've noticed this, my whole gaming style of games that I used to play versus then and now have changed.
Right.
And it's just a part of me getting older. I used to love like all the stress and all that stuff of games. Now I just play games to relax.
Yeah, it's a hobby. Yeah, I got you.
Exactly.
I got
I
you.
mean, I used to be a huge fan of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Like I used to play Mortal Kombat all the time. It never left my systems. Now it's like I'm not really liking the styles that they went with and things like that. So I haven't picked up a Mortal Kombat since the PlayStation 3 days, I think.
Wow. It's hard
Yeah.
to believe that game's been around that long. What's your favorite Switch games?
Right now I'm trying to finish up Link's Awakening.
Okay.
I have been playing. My friend has been really trying to get me into Fire Emblem. I'm playing it, but it's whatever. I have been really enjoying Xenoblade. I have to get back to that game, but it's too many damn games coming out for the Switch.
What's the next one that you're definitely gonna go out and get? You'll call in sick if you had to.
Well, the next games I'm getting for next month is going to be Ghostbusters, Vampire, and Luigi's Mansion 3. Those are my 3 for next month.
Oh, is that the vampire game that was on the Xbox and the PlayStation?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
I didn't know it was going to the Switch.
It was announced like a year and a half ago that it was coming to Switch. It just finally that along with at the same time Call of Cthulhu was announced for the Switch, but that's coming out on the 8th. I'm not getting that one though.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like they got a lot lined up for the holidays then. Now, do you just have the regular
Man,
Switch, or do you think you'll get the Switch Lite, or do you recommend the Switch Lite?
nah, I'm not getting the Switch Lite because the Switch Lite, when you look at it, what I think the Switch Lite was aiming towards were people in a house who has more than one profile on their Switch.
Right.
So that you could just move it because they taught you how to move an entire profile, like separate profiles from your Switch to another Switch. So I think the Switch Lite was for like people who have like 3 or 4 kids and they all have profiles, and you buy them each a Switch and you move their profile to that Switch because they've made it too. You can't use between the systems super easily. Like you have to dedicate one as your primary Switch to use one all the time, and I'm just not going through all that.
That sounds like a pain.
And plus, it's not like I have loads of time. Warframe on the PS4 is 30, almost 40 gigs. Yeah, they got that down to half on the Switch.
Wow.
But yeah, because somebody in chat, the Gaminator says there's 39.406
Oh,
gigabytes on the PlayStation 4.
yeah.
They've put it down. They just did an update on the Switch version. They got it down to 15 gigs.
Jeez.
But
The Switch isn't really big. They have a big enough library to where that they're not third-party support heavy. I mean, like you can just play their games for a year, whether it be the Xenoblade if you wanted that, or the Link games and Zelda. So
well, they have a ton of third-party support.
yeah.
What are you
Oh no.
talking about?
Well, no. That's what I mean. Is that you don't need it though. Like if third party said the heck with it, we're not supporting it anymore. It would.
You would still no, because that would put us back into the situation of what we had with the Wii U.
Right, but
The Wii U.
I have a lot of first party out, right?
Right now they do, but like they cut their first party. Like we've had a first party every month up until December.
Hmm.
We have more first party now than we did on the Wii U days, but you also need that third party support because some people don't play the Switch for first party. Some people get it for the on the go capacity of it.
Nice.
Like prime example with Civilization 6. You know it's on
Yeah,
the Switch and it's coming to the PS4 and the Xbox One.
yeah. I'm
Well,
buying it.
with the Switch version of it, you could cross save between the your PC and the Switch version.
Okay, didn't know that.
So if you're playing on PC, and right now the expansions that's on PC is about to come out on the Switch also. So if you're playing on PC, if you save your game because you got to go somewhere, if you have it on the Switch, you can pick up your Switch and continue the game elsewhere.
Yeah, and that's a cool game. That would be something that because I like those type of games. Those civilization games. So the key there is a cheat on them. If you find Atlantis, you will advance your civilization 150 years.
Oh dear God, I don't go through all that with it. I just build my civilizations and go to war, okay?
Oh my God! Well, it's easier to go
And
to
that
war when you have more
you're
technology.
I'm looking at somebody in chat and they're saying, I think it's innate. People
Uh,
always seem to give some sort of weird pass to the Switch. Some people are absolutely flat out delusional about the Switch and how great it is. I'm one who can tell you up front, they have some issues.
mhm.
But you're right. People do give the Switch weird passes for things, but some people are just flat out delusional about the Switch and about how great it is. It has its hiccups like every other console does.
Yeah, I'm about to say it does have its shortcomings. It's done
Oh
well.
yeah.
I mean, it's done very well. Hellfire, they're going to end up passing Microsoft's Xbox in sales and probably in the next 10 weeks. Is what I.
Probably, yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. But it also goes back to power's not everything for some people. Because I mean, like the Xbox One is the most powerful console, but they don't have any software backing it up. The Switch is the weakest console there is, but they got tons of content coming out for it, and it's selling like crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Every time when I've gone, there's a GameStop I'm fairly close to, and I can't. I think every time I've gone in there, that somebody's buying a Switch, or they're buying something that supports it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're yeah. I mean, I can't, and it's usually a mom with little Jimmy on her leg. So and now they'll start selling more because people are putting them into layaways and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for Christmas and Pokemon's coming up, and then I
Oh,
think some people are still waiting on Animal Crossing because they're still playing the 3DS until the next Animal Crossing come out. Some people buy the console based on what games are coming out. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. My final. I was gonna give a final thought here on the whole Last of Us thing, and I agree that if you're that tore up from the floor up about it not having multiplayer, then just don't buy it because because it's like Jade Up City put on Twitter I think yesterday. He said, "How many of you are going to cancel your pre-order because it doesn't have multiplayer?" People are like, "I'm not canceling it." So then, what's the point? I mean, it's okay to be disappointed, but they are going to bring a multiplayer out. But it just sounds like a lot of fear because they think that they're going to separate it and then charge for it. And I'm like, yeah,
Which they may do.
yeah. And
We don't know that yet. It might come out as a DLC pack that you have to pay $24.99 for.
yeah,
We don't know.
yeah. And then again, it may not. And they may give it to you for free. What's up, T3 Medias? How you doing? So Best Buy should buy the logo GameStop and make it the gaming department. Best Buy has kind of moved away from gaming, cartridge gaming, or this.
My whole GameStop have totally rechanged the whole format and now have a whole appliance section in there.
GameStop does? Or
I mean,
Best
not GameStop, Best Buy.
Okay, yeah, see, mine always had. Now, GameStop is changed. Microsoft, because Microsoft's advertising going to GameStop, because we're in the next fiscal year right now. Um, Microsoft is spending like 20 to 30% less advertising in GameStop this year. So if you go to GameStop and you notice like the Xbox stuff is on the very back, and it's only one wall. At least at my GameStop, it's 1 1/2 wall, because they split their half wall with PC stuff. Like they've got a lot of those keyboards that glow and stuff like that.
Oh, see,
So,
your GameStop got more than mine do. Mine don't have any of that stuff for PC. They have like the PC stuff on a little end cap like thingy, and
yeah,
it's usually not a whole lot.
yeah, yeah. That's what mine is. So somebody said most of the nonsense being fueled by Xbox and ponies are feeling the heat. Well, I don't. There's nothing to feel the heat from, honestly. The Xbox community is furious that they have nothing to play. So any chance they have to attack. I mean, which again, they're not talking about Ori and the white rag glowy thing or Battle Frogs. That's what's coming out for them. So any
Battle
chance they have,
Frogs.
whatever it's called, when they have a chance to attack and downgrade and go whatever you want to call it, another console's game, they're going to do it because they don't have anything else. They don't. I've heard from too many people, even Musclebound Gamer. He said the reason why people in the Xbox community attacked the PlayStation games is because they don't have anything to play. I mean, that's so. I mean, you don't. That's reality. And he was being honest about that. He just said, "Yeah, you don't have nothing to play, so they feel some kind of way." Even and D-Back said it. A lot of the gaming experiences, the wow moments that you're having, has not happened on Xbox, and the Xbox community feels some kind of way, which shows you that they're in their feelings because they're a bunch of blue pill beta males that are into their feelings.
But that goes back to what I was saying earlier about how it's like a wing and a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, if you go up to them and ask them, they're talking about all of the games the future games that's coming out for their new acquisitions, but they don't even know anything about the games coming out. So it's almost like a wing and a prayer that the games are going to be A, coming out, or B, going to be good.
Yeah. Well,
and that's the scariest thing from the Xbox camp right now, if you think about it. Because like I said, PlayStation 4, people can give you names of games. PC can give you names of games. Switch can give you names of games. The only thing Xbox can give you are studios.
I can't play studios. Somebody said earlier they can't play studios on their Xbox.
Exactly. I mean, but when you think about it, Craig, when you think about it, you see the pattern.
You're right. So they start feeling some kind of way. And so it doesn't look what's the first thing they said when they showed the Last of Us gameplay at E3 last year? First thing they said, oh, that's on PS5. That's the first thing they said because they have to tear it down. Oh, they're not showing
that or it's downgraded. And I'm sitting here like, it's downgraded. I said, and the thing about that is, I don't care what trailer is shown for any game that comes out, whether it's Switch, whether it's Xbox, whether it's PS4. I always automatically think it's going to look 25 to 50% different by the time the final build comes out. Whether that 25 to 50% is better or worse, I always give it that 25 to 50% leeway, because when they advertise it at E3 or at the Tokyo Game Show and all that stuff, when they advertise it, they're going to put the best product out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And just from looking at The Last of Us, what we just saw, what they were showing here this week, I can understand now why the Square Enix, the people who did Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I can understand why that guy felt some kind of way. I mean, because that game does look better. I have no idea what it's going to play like, but that game does look better than Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And you know, the way the foliage was moving, it looked more realistic. The way she was interacting in the environment looked more like what a real person would do. So yeah, it's I understand why he made a comment that he made. So but yeah, I just you know, they feel some kind of way, and it didn't matter. They were going to say something negative about it because they don't have that game coming to their system, and they want it. They just don't want to have to go out and buy a PlayStation to get it. They just think the game should come to them based on reciprocity. You know, Sony should give us the game anyway because, you know, it's not fair. That's what you're hearing. It's not fair. It's not right.
Who cares what's fair in love and business? They're all about making money. And they're all about selling us something.
Mm-hmm.
They want our dollars. Okay. So what they're going to do, they're going to make something that you want. And that's what's to entice you to buy it. Like, granted, there are tons of things that I see that I would love to have on the Switch, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, it's anti-consumer that it's not coming to the Switch, or is this, is that. If it'll either come or if it don't come, and if I want it bad enough, I'll just go out and get the console that it's on. Like right now, there's a rumor that Code Vein from one of the developers last year said you might see it on Switch. So okay, I'm sitting there like, okay, whatever. If it comes to Switch, it comes to Switch. If it don't, it don't.
Yeah, and the mere fact that Switch launched with no third-party support, and now you have major third-party developers saying, yeah, we can talk about it, or it's something that we want to do. That's good. That is good. I don't care how many. I mean, it may be trash when it gets over there, but at least they're trying.
At least they are trying, because they see, oh, we have people who like everybody got mad, like everybody was screaming back here. Remember when everybody was saying, oh, we want Resident Evil on the Switch, and we want this. So what did Capcom do? Capcom bought Resident Evil to the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Then the complaint you had was they're charging $29.99 for this old ass game.
Yeah.
You gotta think about, you created the demand.
Yes.
They have the supply. They say, oh, well, these Switch users are thirsty for this game. Let's charge $29.99. See how many people buy it. But then you turn around and complain. When you have a supply and demand, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's why I think Naughty Dog is going to charge for the DLC or for the for the thing, because you guys are complaining about it, which means there's a demand, which means they're going to be like, well, we can charge for it.
That's charge whatever we want.
Yeah, that's
because they already know they have the demand for it.
Yeah, so if if you're quiet, they'll just give it to you. They'll just be like, okay, well, here it is. That's like they added it on to all the other games. You know, they're kind of like, oh, well, here's multiplayer as well. Oh, okay, well, gee whiz, thanks. We're enjoying this incredible story. You know, but that's the way you guys are going to have to do it. I do agree. I do think, and Nate makes a legit point about Gears 5. They thought Gears 5 was going to be their raison d'etre. They thought Gears 5 was going to be, it just wasn't its way. You can't sit up there and tell me that you're going to have 4K uncompromised, and that game is compromised up and down the dial. You know, it drops down to 1580p. You know, but then you jumped on and said, oh, well, it runs at 60. Well, that's not what you were saying to me when the X came out. It was about the resolution and the hell with FPS. So you don't get to run FPS up now, you know, because especially to me, I can play Gears at 90 frames a second if I want to on my PC. So y'all gonna miss me. I'm the wrong one. Y'all sending that stuff to.
I mean, and then you also got to think about it this way. You know, it's on PC now. This is the first Gears that's on PC, isn't it?
Well, Gears 4 is.
Gears 4 is, and Gears 5 is. Yeah. Okay, and I'm not talking about from the backwards with the Game Pass or whatever. I'm talking about just this is the first one that's ever been released on PC.
Mm-hmm.
And you have people who play it on PC. It goes back to like you were just asking, why do people play it on console if they have PC and they could play it better on PC.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what's happening. The people who want to play it on PC are playing it on PC.
Yeah, what do you think? Have you seen? I guess the YouTube gaming streets. Have you seen an exodus of people from the Xbox community to PC?
People say that every gen almost.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, you're saying that. It goes back to you saying it now, but you'll be buying that next console.
Yes, I bought an Xbox X, but I think when I tried to play Red Dead 2, by the time it took that thing 40 minutes to update. 40 minutes. I mean, there's women that have gone into labor and had a baby quicker than that. Like, what is this thing doing over here? You know, so and again, I could not see the difference in the PlayStation one and the other one, but it's been a while since I played it on PlayStation because I didn't care for the game. There were things about the game I liked, but overall, I thought the game was just kind of, and I was just kind of like, all right.
Yeah, it goes back to people hyping it up, but you also got to remember everybody has different gaming styles. Gaming is one of the most subjective things there is because everybody has a different gaming style.
True.
I mean, so like my friend who hypes up Fire Emblem. This was his first Fire Emblem game he played. For me, it wasn't my first Fire Emblem, so I went into Fire Emblem with I'm not that fond of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, okay.
What is Fire Emblem about?
Fire Emblem, the three houses about you are playing a professor who gains one of the houses. It's like a sim game almost where it's a strategic RPG where you have strategic battles.
Okay.
In this one you could do things like get married. Well, all of them you could get married, fishing, things like that, cooking. You have interactions with relationships. So far from what I've been playing of this one, you right now are a professor at this university and you're teaching these kids things about war and battle and all that stuff. And you progress through the game. From what my friends are saying, who's like further into the game, they're like after the first semester or first year of the game, they're into like further into the year, and they say it gets a lot better at that point. But if I get bored, it's whatever.
I heard that, and Nate said that he hates to see that the Witcher 3 is severely downgraded on the Switch version. I just put in that Witcher 3 is downgraded on all consoles. I mean, you can't talk downgrades to me because
I mean, here's the thing about that. Yeah, it gets downgraded, but you gotta look at the hardware it's going to. The Switch is like the weakest console out of all of them. The fact that you can get it even to work on the Switch is a miracle.
Yeah.
Because I have some games that are nowhere near as intense on the Switch, and they ported it to the Switch, and it runs like pure ass on the Switch. And I'm sitting here like, this game should not be running like this on the Switch. Yeah. But the fact they got it working on the Switch is a miracle. B, some people are gonna really enjoy it on the Switch. I was debating about getting it or not, but as I watch more and more of the gameplay of it, it looks like it would just bore me. Looks like Skyrim is more fun for me. But
really, Skyrim?
I love Skyrim.
I'm not knocking it. Yeah, I thought Skyrim was underrated. I thought Oblivion was a little bit overrated, but looked better. Skyrim was a little more run down. What I liked about Skyrim was the dragons. I mean,
and I don't know if you could do it in the console versions, but I know in PC version there's a way where you could make a necromancer where you have an unlimited horde army of the undead and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out if I can do that in the console version.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like the Skyrim looks more interesting as an open world game to me than Witcher does. So
Yeah, Witcher. If you've read those books and then you played the games, it is a deep story. But yeah, I mean, you get into the houses, the why the elves aren't like, because the elves in The Witcher 3 are treated horribly, and they don't really tell you why. If you read the books, you find out why. I read that second book, like, yeah, the elves are horrible, but they're horrible no matter what. If you play friggin' a Dragon Age, the elves are treated like shit in that too. Like, I just don't know why that's like the group of people that they treat them like black folk, in these video games.
I'm up here. T3 Media is asking, waiting on the live chat about the My Little Pony game app. There's a My Little Pony game app.
Really? I did not know that. I didn't even know My Little Pony was still around. I remember that one.
Oh yeah, it's made a huge comeback.
Oh my God! What's next? The Powerpuff Girls?
They made a huge comeback too. What are you talking about? You late on the scene.
I didn't know. Did they finally grow up?
No, they're still they made a comeback in like pop culture media where people were buying their T-shirts and stuff like that and buying the DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. But they haven't made a new cartoon. But My Little Pony, they made like a new cartoon and everything for it. Rainbow Bright has made a comeback in pop culture. They were even you late. All the old things from back in the day that made a comeback.
Oh my God! He said Rainbow Bright. Oh my God!
And that was from when I was real little. There, yeah. I had the Orange Blossom doll. I remember that clearly.
Oh my God! T3B said that Punky Brewster's coming back. Oh my God!
Yes, I heard about that. They're rebooting Punky Brewster.
Oh my God! Oh, that's all I can say. Well, I feel sorry. I feel sorry for you all. You all got to go through Punky Brewster because we had to go through that shit. It was horrible.
All right, T3 Medias, I agree with you. Let's get back to games because that's showing both of our ages there.
Yeah, oh my God. They're talking about Punky Brewster. All right. All right. So for the let me ask you, for what game, if you were gonna either buy an Xbox or a PlayStation, which one would you buy and why?
It would be a PlayStation because if somebody tells me I have to get rid of my Switch and my entire collection and choose between PlayStation and Xbox, it would be PlayStation because quite a few of the games that's like third-party games that I have on the Switch are also on the PlayStation, but some of them are not on the Xbox.
Wow. Well,
I mean, you gotta look at it that way. I made a prime example, like when I was in the Steam Scram Punks podcast on Wednesday. A game I had just picked up Tuesday. It's a niche game and nobody knows of it. And I was called a weeb and everything about it. But the thing is it's a niche game and all that, but the PlayStation 4 got it. The Switch got it, PC got it. Why didn't Xbox get it?
Yeah. Well, technically, they'll say, well, if it went to PC, that is Xbox. That's what these idiots.
No. It's on Steam. But you gotta think about this. If an Xbox player, a gamer who plays nothing but Xbox games, say they play on PC, they're gonna be automatically classified as a PC gamer, not an Xbox gamer.
True. Now T3, you're not the only movie guy here. Says now that Tomb Raider has been greenlit for the sequel, does it put this franchise on the path of it? No, that Tomb Raider they just did with Alicia Vikander was trash. I mean, that was straight up garbage. I'm shocked. Wait a minute,
which one was that? The newest one that came out where it was like pre her Tomb Raider days, or they made another one since that?
No, the one they just did with Alicia Vikander, who I love, by the way. Like, I'm in love with that girl. I hate the fact that which call is married to her. But hey, he got more money than me, right? So, but yeah, she is fine. She is a fine looking woman. But yeah, that movie was straight up garbage. Not as bad as Dark Phoenix. I watched, like I said, Dark Phoenix was so bad. I watched that last night. I'm like, okay, this is terrible. I mean, this is so bad.
Man, let me tell you something. I have a friend who absolutely loves Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Loves the Dark Phoenix. I mean, he named his car Dark Phoenix and had his license plate saying Phoenix on it, okay? That's how much he loves Jean Grey. He even said that movie was straight trash. He said the best thing about it was that she was a redhead.
Yeah, I mean, she looked decent in it, but it was just trash. I mean, the first act I thought was actually pretty good. The first act was good.
What JP Loco? What are you talking about? What game was she referring to?
Well, right now we're talking about movies. So
no. JP Loco asked what game was she referring to. I'm trying to figure out what game he's talking about. What was I saying?
we were talking about we talked about Fire Emblem. We talked about are you talking about Skyrim and
Oh, are you talking about AI, the game I was talking about that was a niche game, but the PlayStation 4 got it, the PC got it, and the Switch got it, but the Xbox didn't get it?
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
I'll type it in. Let's see here.
Somebody said you wouldn't go out on a limb and say The Last of Us wouldn't be a good film adaptation. They did a Last of Us film adaptation with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What?
I forgot the name of it. It was just like The Last of Us. It was about him trying to get a little girl somewhere who was immune to a virus.
Oh, okay.
But I forgot what the name of the movie was. An Arnold movie. It came out like 3-4 years ago. This research.
Oh, are you talking about End of Days?
No, it wasn't In the Days. It was a zombie movie, and he was escorting a girl somewhere who was immune to the disease. And I forgot the name of the movie. It's just a one-word movie that he did. So The Road, it may have been. I don't know. So Logan would be the closest to The Last of Us. No, Logan is an X-Men movie. Probably the best X-Men movie I've seen. So it was good. So, but yeah, no, I can't believe how bad Dark Phoenix was. I was just sitting there like, it can't be bad. It can't be getting worse. It got worse. It's like you just sit up there and I threw my hand. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I just threw my hands up in the air. Like, man, this is terrible.
Well, you got to think about when movies get to be and having so many sequels, they start going downhill.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, like you stretch the franchise out, like with X-Men, they've gotten rid of, they're on the core X-Men, but they've gotten rid of so many of the other cool X-Men, like Jubilee. You don't see much of Gambit as much as you used to see him in. When you go down to the niche, the most super popular ones, which was Xavier, Logan, Cyclops, when you go down to get into just those, it gets to the point of you're going to start running out.
Yeah. Well, Dark Phoenix, they tried to make it their version of Infinity War. That's what they were trying to do. Now, I won't deny they left it so that when Marvel took over, because Marvel owns the property now, you could see where they could go with it. Okay, you can see where they could go with it and have some of the same characters, which I don't think they will, but you will have some of the same characters and stuff like that. But the school is no longer named Xavier School. It's called Jean Grey Academy. So it's just the movie, and it just showed the people, and it has Quicksilver. I think that he's in it still. So he's doing the version of he's kind of their Logan. He's kind of, he's the hard ass, so it's just it's I don't know what Kevin Feige's going to do with that, but he's the man. In Feige we trust, so I don't know how he's going to change that. But wanted to ask you before we got off here, what did you think about Spider-Man coming back to the MCU?
And whatever. I was never a huge Spider-Man fan. I read comic books, but I was never a huge Spider-Man fan. I was more into the X Factor, X-Men. I was into Gambit. I was into Batman. I was more into the DC universe part of it. I liked Aquaman. So yeah.
Movie Aquaman.
Huh?
Did you like the movie Aquaman that had?
I haven't watched it yet. I own it. I just haven't sat down and watched it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean that was like one of the, when it like first week it came out, I bought it. It's just that I haven't sat down and watched it.
Yeah. Well, I won't give anything away then. So.
Oh yeah, it's all right. But that's what I'm saying. Spider-Man MCU. The only person I really liked in the MCU was Thor mainly. I used to love reading Thor's comics.
Yeah, well, he's back, and he's gonna have a female, and his girlfriend's gonna wield Mjolnir in the next one, allegedly.
Yeah, they probably because the comic book. I want to say probably 15 years ago, they came out with the Lady Thor comic book where Thor lost Mjolnir, and it was picked up by a woman.
Yeah.
So they might be branching off to that story arc.
That's what it sounds like. Taika Waititi, he's doing it. So, so they Thor Ragnarok, and again, I thought the first Thor movie was just okay. I thought the second one was garbage, straight up trash. But it's hard to believe the people that wrote Infinity War and Endgame also wrote Thor: Dark World. It's the same writers.
That's crazy. Well, maybe Dark World was their first voyeur, and then they got feedback from how bad it was and was able to do better. Yeah. Or maybe they're just a group of people who can't focus on one character, but when they get a bunch of different characters, they can each take a group. You know how some people, when they have like a multitude of things to write about, like each one could take a different branch of the story. But with Dark World, you mainly only have Thor. So you're stuck with one character.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I just thought that movie was straight up garbage. Now, somebody said they need to stop fucking up Spider-Man. Well, look, I don't think Marvel's version of him so far has been basically in the comic book. So somebody's dog is barking.
That's mine, Sheldon. Okay. He up here. He sees his reflection in a mirror, so he thinks it's another dog to him. He a little fool. Quiet, baby.
But no, they're just James Geico. They're just following the comic book. That's what they did in the comic book. They made him because Peter Parker, the comic book, he opens up his own things called Parker Industries, and it's a derivative of Stark Industry. So it's just so they're doing the exact same thing that happened in the comic book. So with him, but again, to me, look, Marvel gets to finish the trilogy that they started. We will finally, we very well may see the Osborn building being built. So in the next Spider-Man movie, this pretty much locks down the Spider-Man video game for gaming topic. Marvel Games, which is a separate studio from Marvel movies, is going to stay with Insomniac, I'm pretty sure, for the game. And
now, do you think that the second Spider-Man game is going to follow more closely to the movies, or you think it's going to follow the Spider-Man game that, like a part 2 to the Spider-Man game that was already released?
Yeah, Insomniac said they had to agree with Sony and Marvel that part of the pitch was they wanted to do their own original story. So they gave us a Sinister Six story. That's who he fought. And people didn't realize that he had 6 villains. Yeah, that was their version of the Sinister Six. So he didn't have Hobgoblin in it. He will be in the next one, I'm pretty sure. So somebody said they saw Dark Phoenix on the shelf at your local Target. Keep in mind, I buy a lot of movies with Dark as a hard pass. So to me, it was just I did the step. Oh, and I was like, "Where you at, hun? Where you at?" I mean, I rented it and I boxed it, and it was a freebie. You get those emails from Redbox, and it gives you a code, and that's what I rented. And I'm like, all right, let's see. Maybe it's not as bad as what people said it was, and it is. So
I agree with you, Guy Code. Doc Ock would be awesome to come back. Nobody's really done anything with that story arc too much.
that's true. What's going on the platform live? How you all doing? Like I said, I'm still waiting on my invite. You know, I bought a green cover, and that way I don't know how to use it yet. So
You doing heads? You can doing loads above me. I don't even own a green screen. I don't think I plan on getting one. To be honest with you, I might just have like my backdrop of games.
Yeah. Well, everybody that's on the platform podcast, shout out to the platform. They all have a green screen. So I just bought a green blanket. Hopefully that'll get me on there one day. You know, all I can do is hope, keep my fingers crossed. So like I said,
I really don't think that's going to cut it too much there, Craig.
Well, I don't know. I gotta try. That says sometimes you can have a terrible script and a director can still pull magic. Yeah, you're right. But Simon couldn't pull it out of his hat. Simple Simon could not pull this out of his hat. The third act was horrible. I'm talking about horrible. Worse than Wonder Woman's third act. You know, so Wonder Woman's third act was straight up trash. But the first two acts were really good. So this one had a decent first act, and the second act was terrible, and then the third act got worse. So yeah, I'll bring Flowers platform. You know, plus I need help setting up my Twitch stream anyway. I want to like do podcasts on Twitch, and you know, I have no idea how to do it. It looks too complicated.
I'm working on it. I'm going to be streaming here soon, hopefully. I'm trying to get like a capture card and everything so I can stream from my Switch.
Oh, all right. Now you're talking. Now somebody said Parker Industries is the end of Peter Parker's timeline, the start of a Miles Morales timeline. Yeah, you're right. And again, Sony is going to do a Spider-Verse live action. Now, if it works, I don't know if it's going to work. Yeah, T3 Media is saying that Sony is going to stay on this path, getting people ready for Spider-Man to exit. Yeah, this may include everything happening with video games. The video games are separate. Like there's no MCU character in the video game. All the video game characters were what Vulture, Doc Ock, Rhino. Those are all Spider-Man characters. You know, they could, you know, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, again, the movie is just one movie, one motion picture, and then one appearance in the MCU, which will probably be in a Young Avengers movie, and that'll be it. He'll go over to the Venomverse. So
I'm actually kind of scared to see a live action Spider-Verse.
Well,
and the reason is because the great things we can see in animation and stuff, when you transpose that to live action, it might just be cringe factor. And the only reason I say that is because I'm looking at right now, like Disney's doing all of these live actions of their animated stuff, and a lot of it is cringeworthy.
Well, Aladdin and Jungle Book were not. The Lion King, if you saw the original Lion King animated, that was trash. I mean,
but you got to think about the live action but see, the live action of the Jungle Book, which one are you talking about? You talking about the one from the 90s?
No, the one they just did. It came out a few years ago. The live action.
Yeah, because I know they did Disney did a live action one, like I want to say in the 90s, that was either the 90s or the early 2000s, that was really good. But
yeah, they did one, I think it came out in 2011 or 12. It was something like that. So
yeah,
right,
and
yeah, you could. Oh, T3s has invited us both to his channel sometime soon.
Oh, thank you, T3.
Yeah, he does a lot of movies and stuff like that. So if you're a movie person, he is the man. So he knows his Spider-Man stuff too. So
yeah, like I said, it was crazy in comic books. It was almost like for some comic books, I like the villains more than the heroes.
Yeah, I agree. But I wanted to tell you, T3, when I was at the mall when the Spider-Man stuff broke, and you're the person that I listen to when that was breaking, because I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna listen to Collider or John Campea, and I shout out to all those guys, Collider, John Campea. Those are the two that I listen to. The one I stay away from is Grace Randolph, and she's a hack. A person that she's a hack. I personally think she is. But that's who I listen to at the mall. So shout out to him. But Sony has not done a bad job with Spider-Man. The worst Spider-Man movie made $700 million. So that's good money. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you got to think about that. People are comic book. There's a huge comic book culture out there, and you say and there's a huge Spider-Man following. You say you're putting out a new Spider-Man, they're going to all be there, whether they think it's going to be good or bad. They're going to be there to see what it's like.
Yeah, because I went to go see the Spider-Man, and I didn't go see the Amazing Spider-Man. I went and saw the second one with Jamie Foxx, and that was terrible. That was terrible, So, but and it didn't do well. It underperformed. It did underperform. So that's why they went to Marvel and again, Sony gets Kevin Feige to produce one more movie, which that's what they wanted. The original deal was is what Sony agreed to, the 25%. What pushed Sony this time was Star Wars. When Sony announced that, when Marvel announced that Kevin Feige would be producing or directing, something like that, his own Star Wars movie, when they said that to him, when that got out, Sony came back immediately, and they all went out and they all had a beer, and they hammed it out. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the next Spider-Man. The Far From Home is a good Spider-Man movie. I don't care how you look at it; it's a good Spider-Man movie. So
I mean, all movies have good points and bad points.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like, some movies that I absolutely love is absolute garbage, but they all have their good points and their bad points.
Yeah, and TJ Media is right. The Sony hack, yeah. And they've learned a lot from Marvel, and if you don't believe that, then you can look at Into the Spider-Verse, which is a great Spider-Man movie. It's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. It clearly they're setting up a romance between Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales, which in the comic book, that's who got together. I believe that's So you have to wait and see. But it's Sony. They know what they're doing. Disney kind of pushes people around. They push around theater chains. So trying to push Sony around ain't no joke either. So, but they were able to get what they wanted out of them. Only the Mysterio fight. Only like the Mysterio fight. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't give nothing away. Because I think Far From Home comes out in 4K in a few more weeks. So yeah. So Far From Home is a 7 for you. Yeah, I gave it an 8.8. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So Jamie, you like Jamie Foxx's Electro? See, I thought he was trash in that movie. I thought he was straight up trash, but again,
that shows you how much I didn't hear about that, because I didn't even know he was in that one.
Oh, really? Yeah, he played Electro. Don't get me wrong, it was trash.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't hear anything about it, so I'm figuring that's the reason, because it was bad.
Yeah, that's the one that kind of went off that's where the wheels kind of fell off in that one. So yeah, but So yeah, but guys, we're gonna get on. Do you have anything you want to ask nobody?
Nope. Thank you for having me on your show today. Thank you, chat. You can catch me on Wednesdays on Scram Punks over on Dirk Griggity's channel, and I'm on Twitter at SnowBunny426.
Well, there you go. Yeah, maybe one day I'll get on Scram Punks. So, being the messiah of the Xbox community, I've got to make my rounds. I'm lobbying J-Dub to get me on Xbox Nation, like a guest appearance on there. So,
Dirt's been on there quite a bit lately.
Yeah, I know. So I got to make the rounds. Being, I'm in charge of the Xbox community. So,
and even though you're a major PC guy, that's kind of a contradictory.
No, I mean, it is what it is. They need to, like, what did Porter Rock say yesterday? They need a new kind of criminal in the Xbox community. So yeah, I'm lobbying to get on
You a wolf in sheep's clothing. You don't even you.
So I'm trying to get on I'm trying to get on the platform. I'm trying to get on Xbox Nation and now Scram Punks and BRAP. I'm trying to get on all 4 of those. So I want to make a round. I want to make an appearance, a cameo. So yeah. I haven't hit the agenda on why I want to be on the platform though. So.
Well, you know the rules. Just talk to Dirt or
I know.
Moss, MMTK.
Yeah, I'll get on there. I can pull some people's pants down. All right, then.
Oh no, man! I be up there. They be telling me to be quiet. I'm like, why? What are you talking about? I didn't do anything. And you can catch me periodically also on King Thresh's Roundtable, but it's just time factor right now with me why I haven't been over there lately.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I know. It's they come on at weird times. And now somebody asked about Madam Web. Well, Madam Web is that's going to be interesting. I don't know if they'll give her own movie. I just think they're going to let her be in a Spider-Man movie. And she's called Madam Web because she's hooked up to all these tubes and she sits in the middle of it and she looks like a spider in the middle of a web. That's why they call her Madam Web.
Now, I had heard rumors that they were doing something with her.
Yeah, and it's going to have something to do with him being able to travel. I think it's going to have him being able to travel through the Spider-Verse, multiverse. But we'll have to wait and see. They got a Sony has a 7-year plan for Spider-Man. Have to wait and see if they can execute it, you know. So, yeah. Joseph, yeah, I can put my Xbox hat on. And, you know, like I said, I got the Xbox cologne and lotion.
Yeah, you did. How does it smell?
Like no games.
Huh?
It smells like not having no games.
It's one of those ones for when you go to the club and the girl's like, "Oh, you smell good. What you got on?" I got Xbox Live on, and you never see her again in the rest of the night.
Yeah, it smells like 4K, fake 4K. Probably, yeah. This is a Madam Web movie is happening. Well, remember, they're going to do some live action shows too. What Sony wants to do is take live action shows and incorporate them into their universe versus, you know, because Marvel didn't do that. Marvel did not take their Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and all that and put them into the MCU. And people wanted to see that. They wanted to see something or some type of report where, like, who is this guy over here in Harlem that they call him Power Man? Anything, you know, anything. You know, they did put something else out in the Iron Man movie. If you get the Marvel box set, it's called the Infinity Gauntlet set. So the new cut scenes at they have the very end. Samuel Jackson says something about Spider-Man, and he says something about aliens, Captain Marvel. So that's part of it. So I have to wait and see. So
okay, awesomeness. Well, thank you again for having me, Craig. Thank you, chat, for listening to my rambling here.
Well, I am so glad you came on. Like I said, you can come on anytime you want to.
Awesome. When do you normally, because you do different days and stuff, do you have like one set day?
Wednesdays, I try to do an OBS stream because I'll play games on my PC and record them. Then I'll put them up there, and then I'll just do some random topics. And then Sunday mornings.
Okay, I'll try to catch you on Sundays then, because on Wednesdays that's when I'm on Scram Punks and stuff.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, Hunt, thanks for coming by. I do appreciate it. Thanks for your opinion. Now I know what YouTube gaming streets are. So
man, like I said, it's crazy out here. Like I said, drama on every corner. Somebody getting backstabbed in the back alleys on another corner.
I can't disagree with that. Yeah. Well, guys, we're gonna get off here. We're gonna go watch some NFL. I'm gonna run up to the store and buy Code Vein. I'm excited about that. So, but all right then, guys, and I'll stream it. Yeah, I'll probably start streaming it next week because I got to work Monday and Tuesday. So, all right, guys, we're going to bounce out. I do appreciate you all coming by. Remember, play the games or the terrorists win. Peace.
Bye.